Blech. It just pooed in front of us, that one with its bum to us. It was looking right at me when it did it too.
Barcelona's Gothic Quarter, also known as the Barry Gothic if you want to be all fancy about it, is the historic heart of the city. It's an area shaped by Romans, royals and a very hairy noble. Oh look, I'm a king. And it continues to be a place where you can see lots of unique traditions and festivals. So let me show you around. And what with my depth of knowledge as a former European tour guide, that means I'm fully equipped to explain each site's unique, rich history. One government building, can't remember which one. Facing the other one. And we'll wander around this historic area, taking it all in, warts and all. Smells of piss in this corner. This is a dog piss corner. Which hopefully won't upset the locals too much. Who knows, it might even help with their over-tourism problem. So let's continue on this series exploring Barcelona. And after taking in its most famous street, La Rambla, in the previous video, which you might want to check out sometime. But not now, I don't want you clicking away from this video and damaging my retention stats. We're going to leave this area and head all the way over to here, the Gothic Quarter, which has so much going on we're going to have to cover it in 3 separate videos. So starting here at this busy travel hub, this is Plaça de Catalunya, which is technically not part of the Gothic Quarter. It's actually part of a different bit of Barcelona called Eixample, an interesting shopping area with some iconic buildings, which we're going to take a look at later in the series. So I guess that means I'm duty bound to not talk about it now, though you will come to realise that is a rule that I'm wildly inconsistent on. So having gotten plenty of clearly essential pigeon shots, I set off with Nicole, my lovely partner, to start our jam-packed sightseeing day. Our first stop is the 12th century Church of Santa Anna, and I was clearly blown away by its 850 years of history and its complex combination of Romanesque and Gothic architecture. Oh no, nice enough. But then we carried on down the quiet early morning back streets and got to a more contemporary site. This fancy place is actually a cafe and was a cool artist hangout when it first opened in 1897. It was inspired by Le Chat Noir, the trendy artist hangout in Paris's Montmartre district. There we go, lots of artists drawing. You could get a little caricature.
I think I'm okay.
And keeping with the cat theme, it's called Els Quatre Gats, which means the 4 cats, a reference to a Catalan saying for a place no one would really want to go to, just 4 cats and strange people. Kinda like what you see here. The outside is something you really want to take your time and appreciate, like we did. Because we came in too early and it was closed. As it's got many fine neo-Gothic design elements, from statues to stone tracery to gargoyles. This one's got a bit of a blow-up doll look to it. And this one, well, this one looks like he needs a toilet. It's a great example of playful modernist architecture, and in fact a certain Pablo Picasso himself put on his first artistic show here. He even designed the cafe's menu. I mean, he designed like the art that went on the menu, he didn't design the food that was being served. If you do go inside, you'll see the painting Ramon Casas and Pere Romeo on a tandem. And who knows, you might even sit in the same chair as Pablo Picasso himself. But probably not. But enough of these boring static shots, it's time to add some cinematic flair to my travel video. And after a mere 10 minutes of trying to balance my gimbal, I was ready to do some cool sweepy shots. And was it worth it? Sort of, I guess. That's not very smooth. At least I could use it to get some cool shots of Nicole while she was looking up directions to our next location. Here, I can sweep around you like a trendy YouTuber. Having got lost, we found ourselves outside the Gothic Quarter, but fortunately there was a big landmark we could use to guide ourselves back in. And as I was feeling bold, I thought I'd take the chance to get a quick beauty shot of this site, just as long as I could get a clear view of it over the roadworks. I just needed a little bit of luck. Great. But anyway, we got past the roadworks, we're back in the Gothic Quarter, and we found it. So this is Barcelona's cathedral. Though you might have thought the cathedral was this. But no, that's not a cathedral, that's just a temple. And it's not even been finished yet, they're still building it. The cathedral, or as the locals call it Liceu, is pretty old, dating as far back as 1298, on a site where formerly there were Christian churches, and before that, a Roman temple. And it represents the apex of Barcelona's medieval wealth and power. A place where from humble beginnings as a small Roman military camp, it grew to become the centre of a vast maritime trade network. But how did it get so rich and powerful? Well, let's find out. Well, according to legend, the city was founded by Hercules himself. He was sailing past this area with his fleet of 9 ships when all of a sudden a storm came and one of them went missing. He founded the base of Barcelona's Montjuic, and Hercules fell in love with the area. He established a settlement there, naming it after his 9th ship, the Barcelona, which then gave us Barcelona. Which is pretty good as a story, but just remember that people have also said that he fought a 3-headed monster, wrestled a 3-headed dog, and killed the multi-headed Hydra. Man, what's up with all these extra heads? So let's take that version of the origin story with a huge pinch of salt. A more prosaic account is to say that despite there being generations of hunter-gatherers living in the region, Barcelona was officially founded by the Romans when they built a small military camp here, though some have claimed it was actually settled by the Carthaginians a few hundred years earlier, but that's largely been disproven. The Romans established a little trading port called Barcino, which you can sort of see spelt out in these little statues near the cathedral. And they brought with them temples and aqueducts and a tolerance for all religions. Nah, not really. There was actually a ton of persecution. And one of the harshest recipients of this was a young Roman Christian girl called Eulalia. She's one of Barcelona's 2 patron saints, and more on her in the next episode when we visit the cathedral. After the Roman Empire collapsed, various Germanic tribes took over, from the Alans to the Vandals to the Visigoths. And eventually the Moors from North Africa invaded Spain, forever influencing its culture and architecture and conquering all the way north to Barcelona. But their reign in this region was short-lived. Worried by this expansion, the Franks under Louis the Pious, also known as the Debonair, son of the famous King Charlemagne, sieged Barcelona in 801 AD. He pushed out the Moors and created the Marca Hispanica, the Spanish March, a sort of semi-autonomous buffer zone keeping apart these 2 powerful empires. During this time, the land was ruled by local lords, known as the Quatre, giving us the region's name. And the most notable of these was this man, Wilfrid, who was famous for 2 things. First, for unifying the area with his brothers, effectively creating the region we know as Catalonia today, establishing a dynastic legacy which lasted for almost 500 years. And the second, less noble thing he was known for was being hairy. That's actually what his name means. For, as a chronicler at the time stated, he was hairy in places not normally so in men. And as a hairy man myself, I'm happy to see my people do well. The unified Catalonia grew in wealth and power, with Barcelona's next big growth spurt occurring when its leader, who was still just a count, was betrothed to this woman, a princess of Aragon. Well, I say woman, she was actually a toddler at the time, so I guess she didn't get much of a say on the matter. But still, this meant a powerful political alliance between the Kingdom of Aragon and the Countdom of Catalonia, and thenceforth their descendants became Count Kings. And Barcelona became a maritime powerhouse, which naturally meant military expansion, with its biggest growth during the reign of its next famous leader, Jaume I. He's got a big square named after him, which we're going to visit in the next episode, so more on him later. And ultimately, through Jaume and his descendants, Barcelona became a key city in a vast trading network. And so, by the 15th century, Barcelona was at the apex of its golden age. But the good times wouldn't last forever. Plagues, famines and riots would take their toll, and eventually a royal wedding and Columbus's discovery of the New World would spearhead Barcelona's sharp decline. But that's a story for a later episode. So let's get back to sightseeing. And what's remarkable about the cathedral is that even though it looks quite fancy now, for most of its life the outside was quite plain. All these fancy embellishments were added in the 19th century when the city was flush with cash during an industrial boom. It's great to take it all in and appreciate, and not in any way was it diminished when we were here by this great big advert for the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip. Galaxy Z, our ad's in the flipping way! The square right in front of the cathedral can get really busy, but remarkably we found a virtually deserted section all to ourselves, for some reason. You don't want to sit by the stinky sewer like we did. and Nicole got to work capturing some close-up shots of its elaborate Gothic facade. Setting up the shots. She's really wincing. Look at that concentration on her face. But all that concentration really paid off. Don't worry, Nicole, I'll straighten up this shot for you. There, that's better. So outside we have the lovely Plaça Nova, the new square, which is a great place to hang out and enjoy the city's atmosphere. And yes, I know, if you want to be a smart-ass about it in the comments, this isn't technically just Plaça Nova, it actually includes Avenida de la Cathedral and Placita de la Seu. But humour me, I'm trying to simplify things a bit. Here you can find the aforementioned Barcino sculpture, as well as a reconstructed bit of Roman aqueduct. Oh, and don't forget to check out this lovely mural designed by Pablo Picasso himself. Plus, this square is a great place to see traditional Catalan circle dancing, as represented by this statue found at Montjuic. And if you time it right, it's also a great place to see some very unique festivals. We'll give you a rundown of what you can find inside the cathedral in the next episode, and in the one after that we're going to take a deeper dive looking at Catalonian culture and festivals. So if you do want to check these out, make sure you don't miss any episodes. There might be something you might want to do about it, you know, hint hint.
Basically he's saying hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, and don't forget to hit the like as well to help us reach new people. And if you're feeling a bit shortchanged about all the reconstructed Roman stuff, well, you'll find some genuine Roman foundations at our next site. It's the Casa del...
It's the Casa del Archdeacon.
Casa del Archdeacon. Alright, I got it. It's the Casa della Darchia. It's the Casa della Darchia. It's the Casa della Darchiaca. It's the shittest one yet. Stop, Nicole.
I'm sorry.
You alright there?
That was good.
Let's get back to work here. Let's be professional.
Yeah. Just give me a second. Alright, let's get back to work.
It's the Casa de la Diarca, which was formerly the Archdeacon's house, but now houses the city's archives. It's free to enter, has a nice little courtyard, and a little rooftop balcony with views of the very old St. Lucia's Chapel. And the building also has a fancy modernist mailbox outside, dating from 1902, which every single one of my guidebooks had talked up. So when I saw it, well, it's nice. I just thought there'd be a little more to it, you know? Through my research, I found two possible reasons to explain the swifts and the tortoises, with more sources referencing this second explanation, as the Barcelona Lawyers Association was once based here. Though why people don't know the exact reason is beyond me. We're not talking about classical antiquity here, it's just like 120 years old. Did no one write anything down? And afterwards, Nicole suggested we should check out the courtyard of the nearby Palau Episcopal, which was unfortunately shut. But as it was one of the newer buildings around, dating from the 18th century, I wasn't too fussed. 1769? It's a baby place. Might as well just be shooting the Uniqlo down the street. So next we're going to go down... Alright, we just got to pause there because this video's gone way too long, but basically we're going to come back to this in the next part where we're going to do more sightseeing whilst getting roasted by the sun and even go inside the cathedral, which will kind of explain what that goose bit was from the intro. So if we've posted that video, it should be appearing on the screen right now, so you can just click on that, and if we haven't, you could go watch something else we've done. Okay, bye!